The Eminence in Shadow episode 9, and in this episode we get the finale of the whole invasion of the school arc, if you can even call it an arc. But yeah, in this episode we get the finale of that, and in some ways it ended how I expected it was going to end, but in some other ways it actually deviated from that, because there were parts here and there, little scenes that I actually didn't expect were going to happen. So it is actually kind of interesting when you think about it, because most of the time when you expect an arc to end, that theory either is true or false. Most of the time it is like that. We don't have it like it is this time for this episode, where some parts of what you theorize are true, but some other parts are not true. So yeah, it is kind of a mixed bag, which, like I said again, makes it actually really interesting. And one of those things that I actually expect were going to happen, and I think that all of you also expect that were going to happen, is that we were going to get the reveal that the assistant principal, Sherry's dad, was actually a bad person. We have been theorizing all along in the past episode reviews that he seemed a little shady, and of course this episode confirmed it, because he was actually the mastermind behind the whole invasion, and the one that was behind the armor suit, the full armor suit. He was the one in there. So yeah, this episode confirmed that, which is one of the things that I actually expected were going to happen. And yeah, his reasons for doing the whole invasion and for using Sherry and all of the things he did in this episode, were the typical villain things villains do. So it wasn't that much of a surprise to hear the thing he did. Apparently he wanted to cure some sort of disease or curse he had, and the only way to do that was to use the artifact that Sherry and Sherry's mother were investigating. But of course, because Sherry's mother didn't actually want to comply to what he wanted, or I should say Sherry's mother's idea, were deviating from his mindset, he had to kill her. So yeah, he did that. Sherry apparently never suspected him, which is actually really interesting. It shows that he did fully have the trust of Sherry, so she never suspected him. And there were signs in the last couple of episodes that he appeared to be more shady than just your typical father. So yeah, this episode confirmed it, and I'm going to be all over the place in this review. I'm going to be talking about things from the start, the end, in the middle part of the episode, so don't pay too much attention to that. There isn't a script or something like that I have in mind to say in this review. So yeah, I guess the theme or the topic, besides the ending of the school invasion arc, is that of seeing Sherry's reaction to everything that is happening in the school, to her completing the device, to her seeing her classmates being killed, and to her seeing her dad being killed. So yeah, this episode gave us a lot of reactions from her, which is actually really good, because we want to see more of her. We want to see more reactions from her character, her personality. So yeah, this episode gave us a lot of that, and even the ending scene gave us a lot of reactions also from her, which is actually really interesting. But apparently the ending of this arc ended with the school being burned down, and because of this they have given now all the students a break, vacation, because this school is burned down. So I guess in one way this will allow Sid, or I should say Shadow, to do more of Shadow's garden activities now that he doesn't have to attend school. So yeah, I guess that is how they are going to handle the whole situation of Shadow Gardens taking a more active role, instead of seeing Sid activity life, Sid interacting with other people in school and things of that nature. That is how they handle that, going from that type of activity in each episode to now probably see more of Shadow Garden and Shadow himself do what the organization does. So yeah, that is how they handle it. This was the arc that basically transitioned the school activity episodes to, I suppose, now the Shadows Garden activity episodes. Yeah, that is the reason, I guess, why the school was burned down. It had another purpose besides just being burned down. So yeah, actually pretty interesting how they handled that. I don't know how long it is going to take before the school is reconstructed again and see it introduced again, or maybe he will not be introduced again. Maybe this was not only done to transition from school episodes to Shadow Gardens episode, but also because now, basically Sid has died. Maybe that is the way they handle it, by basically burning the school down and Sid never being reintroduced into the school again. I doubt this, because by Sid's own words at the end when the school was burned down, he did appear to imply that he did wanted to continue going to the school. So I don't know if that is the case, that they did that because because they never plan to reintroduce it again in the school. I don't think that is the case, but of course there's always the possibility that that was the case. Who knows? Another thing that happened with this whole invasion of the school arc is one of the things that I was talking about in the beginning that I actually didn't expect was going to happen, and that is of basically the plan of the assistant principal of, you know, of Dirty in Shadow Garden's name actually happened, actually was completed by him, because although not many villains can speak of doing what they wanted to do at the end of the day, you know, completing their goals, basically achieving what they wanted to do from the beginning, this guy some way or another actually did it. I mean, not all his plans, because he actually did die, so of course some of his plans didn't actually come true, but others did, and that was one of them, you know, basically ruining the school and also Dirty in Shadow's Garden's name. So I gotta give prop to him, because I mean, he did actually did that, because I think it's at the end of the episode we hear that now Shadow Garden is public #1 enemy of basically everybody. Everybody now apparently hates Shadow Garden's name because they do all sort of villainous things, kidnap, rob, and all the bad things you can basically think an organization can do. Well, apparently now Shadow Garden has been trained for all of those things because of the assistant principal and the whole operation of basically taking over the school, which of course we also find out that Sid doesn't, or I should say Shadow doesn't actually care. He simply wants to do whatever he feels he wants to do, not if it's right or wrong. He simply wants to do what he wants to do, and that's it. That's why he doesn't mind that now Shadow Garden's name has been sort of dirty. He doesn't mind. So yeah. And finally at the end of the episode we get to see Sherry basically move out of the school, get transferred to another school. She confesses to Sid that she has still a lot more to learn, so she's going to another school. And when Sid asks her why is the reason she wants to have more knowledge, what is the reason for her moving to another school, you know, besides gaining more knowledge, she doesn't respond. She says she's a secret, but the emotion she shows when saying that is kind of weird, because she's smiling, she's sad, she's angry. I mean, she basically goes through all the emotions while answering. So yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. But of course, I guess we can all pretty concisely say what she wants to do, why she is transferring schools, and that is because she wants to take Shadow Garden down, or more specifically Shadow down. She wants to avenge his father, because of course she knows that Shadow killed his father. Because of this, I will assume that the reason she's moving school, the reason she wants to attain quote unquote more power, is because she wants to avenge his father. He wants to take down Shadow Garden and take down Shadow himself. I don't think she knows that Shadow is Sid, because at the end of the episode where they had that conversation, she didn't appear to suspect Sid or anything like that. I mean, who knows, but she didn't appear to suspect him. So let's see when she gets reintroduced again, because when she does, she apparently is going to have something big to show us. So let's see what that is, and let's see if she actually poses a challenge to Shadow Garden. But yeah, that is everything that I wanted to say about the episode. I don't know if this is a shorter or long review. Sorry for all the noise in the background. I mean, every time I record for one reason or another, there's always background noises, there's always something happening. So yeah, sorry for all of that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.